boys and girls, children of all ages. It is I, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the chiseled Adonis. He is my co-host, a serial entrepreneur, Filipino Prince Tycoon, Renee Lacard, and this is We Are Assiduous. Back with another episode here, a very special one, July 4th.
America, baby.
Edition.
America. Sorry, wrong thing. America. What's America's thing? America.
Oh, you got to get a gun or something like
America, yeah, we're not going to do that.
something of that nature.
We're not going to do that one.
There are weapons off to the left and right of us.
Not here on YouTube.
Right. We couldn't grab, like there's an RPG right behind the camera.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to go and grab those. There's a tank not too far across. No need to go and do those. No need for that. Miscellaneous kamikaze jets. But one way or another, it is a July 4th episode here, and we have an opportunity to celebrate our American values.
So we're actually filming this before the 4th of July.
Yes.
But there is an upcoming Trump-Biden election, or not election, debate, election too, I guess.
Well, yeah, the election
debate.
Right.
That one is going to be interesting. That's like a pay-per-view, bro. That is must-see TV. I'm not even political like that. I've never watched a debate in my life. But that one, I might tune in just because of like where the world is at. Or maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. Are you going to watch it?
I'll probably tune in because it's dementia patient versus convicted felon. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen.
I just laugh because Trump is just hilarious with like the way he insults people, the way he says shit is just like so funny. The dude has like comedic timing.
Yeah, he has great timing, good delivery. It's going to be very interesting. And I'm curious, what the discussions are going to be like. And also the debate's usually what ends up swaying the people who are on the fence.
Yeah.
So it's going to go on for some time, but I'm very curious what it's going to look like. And David had mentioned, our producer had mentioned how this is pay-per-view. This is pay-per-view.
So I'm thinking, right, like, why would Biden agree to do this? Because we all know the dude can't, like, hold a sentence. And I'm thinking, this is the conspiracy theory in me. And if I'm right, damn, so I don't even know. If I'm right, we got to come. Maybe I should be the president. I suspect that because he can't hold a sentence, he's going to be doing this, like, little speech debate. And then all of a sudden, he's going to, like, fall down. And then they're going to be like, oh, my goodness, he can't run anymore. We have to find a new candidate. And they get someone else, but because
somebody like cash in the money in the bank, like this WWE, okay.
But just because Joe Biden can't run anymore and there's a new candidate, they're gonna use his downfall, like, oh my God, like do
the
it
sympathy.
for Joe, the sympathy,
okay,
to try and beat Trump. That is my theory, because there is no way in hell that this dude that can't hold a sentence is gonna be on stage for 3 hours against a fucking roast master. There's no way he's going to do that. Like, the second he glitches once, Trump is going to be on his fucking ass.
On the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
It's going to be
Making
very
fun of him, he's going to be like, dude, like mocking him. There's no way that it's like that, unless, like I said in the previous episode, they're going to have to give him like a crazy like stimulant stack of like cocaine, Adderall, modafinil, Ritalin, whatever else they can find, or maybe a testosterone shot, adrenaline shot.
Testosterone
They got to give him a bunch of shit.
Could you imagine? You just get over there, he starts curling like dumbbells for no reason, doing push-ups. Like, what are you doing,
They're going to give him a bunch
Joe?
of shit because there's no way this dude is going to fucking... Like,
hey, if he needs some cocaine, he can get it from his son. All I know is it's going to be it's going because his son is a hunter. But it's going to be very interesting to see how things are going to go and play out, because the state of America at the moment is very interesting.
But that's my conspiracy theory. I think he takes something happens during a televised debate, takes a dive, and then someone has to step in under that. Like,
but then how many times does something like that happen? You think that's going to be on just the initial debate, or does it continue to happen?
Well, no, I think they're gonna be like, oh, he can't run because he just had a stroke. Like, he's gonna fake a stroke or something.
So you think Kamala steps in for her?
Yeah, and be like, oh, and then she steps in for him. I don't know, but even then, I don't know if she can beat Trump.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I don't think she would be the one who would be able to go in and take things over.
I don't know, bro. Like, I don't see it ending any other way. Like, the dude can't like hold a sentence. I can't imagine like 3 hours, and Trump is like putting the pressure on you, it just doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, it just seems like I can kind of already have an idea of where things are going to go. Trump's jokes straight out the gate. You know, he is, as you stated, great comedic timing. But there's no doubt in my mind, Alzheimer's, dementia, things of that. And diabetes 3 is going to be like the go-to jokes. And then on Joe Biden's end, it's just going to be, well, you're a felon. And it's going to be, I don't know if political positions will be discussed.
Trump is like,
it's about to
you're
be
a felon. He's like,
hominem.
just like your son. He's going to say some shit
Right,
like that.
right. It's going to be.
And people are going to die.
Verbal warfare.
Yeah.
So definitely tune in. I believe June 27th.
27th?
Is when the first one will
That's
have
must-see TV,
tuned
bro.
in. So we will have already, by the time of this release, it will have already transpired, and it'll be anticipation for the very next, one.
What's crazy is I see like a lot of like, on both sides, I see a lot of like, they're gearing up for the election because they're starting to like bring in celebrities. So like Biden just had Jack Black.
Yeah.
He took a picture with them, and Jack Black's like Biden. And then Donald Trump just did Logan Paul's podcast.
Yeah, he went on
And
Impulsive.
Donald Trump created his TikTok account. He's on TikTok now. Yes, bro. He's on TikTok now. He has 7 million followers, 2 videos.
Good God. Jeez,
I'm like, damn,
Louise.
I have thousands of videos. I've been posting for 4 years. I'm at like 900K, 2 videos, 7 million.
And you know something that's interesting about Trump, too? Every UFC event, his walkout.
They go crazy.
They go crazy.
Crazy.
It's like he'll walk, and I don't know if he has the same song every single time, but he always comes out with Dana.
Yeah.
And that they make it look cool the way that they have it. Be like, ladies and gentlemen, 45, Donald. And the crowd freaking losing their mind. I'm like, what is going on here?
I was at a UFC event where he walked out. That bitch was so loud. Like you would think like it was fucking like Conor McGregor walking out.
It's got to be.
It was insane in there.
Their marketing there is crazy. So I think it makes me wonder.
And then the standing ovation too, because you're sitting there. And
Right.
like, woo!
It makes me wonder. Like he might be the most celebrity president that we've since Reagan, Obama to a certain degree,
That's how
because
you
Obama
win.
was somewhat
Obama was,
a very celebrity. He had what would they say now? Aura. He had an aura about him, so
Okay,
he's
with the
doing his
kids.
thing.
You with the lingo,
Yeah, a little
huh?
bit of urban youth, you know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
he had
what
the
I'm saying?
Riz.
Yeah, dog.
The Riz and the
a little
aura.
bit of aura,
Aura.
Tour, things of that nature.
Aura for aura.
But he's doing his thing. So we'll see what ends up happening. I too am the same. I have no dog in the race. I saw a couple of comments. Oh well, are you a conservative? Are you a Republican? I'm not. I've never said
like this,
I
huh?
want it. But we can make fun of one side. You can make fun of the other. We've joked on both
joke on
ends.
both,
It doesn't
yeah.
mean as if you're just immediately affiliating with one side. I've said I'm very neutral across the board with most of it. I think it's all horse shit. It's a right, left wing. You're both on the same plane.
It's so
You can't fool
polarized
me.
now, bro. It's like you got to choose one or else you're not.
Right.
I don't know. I'm pro. I have a kid, so I just want the country to be good. I want to make my money, and I want to be fine. That's the way I look at it.
Ultimately, yeah, I'm the same way about it. And now, since it is Independence Day on the release of this here episode, I have a
America.
question over here of what do you think the U.S. will look like 10 years from now?
Ooh, depends on who wins. Cause so here's my thing. All right, I'm gonna go into a long. Ooh, we're about to go MAGA, baby, MAGA.
Get
We're gonna
ready
be like-
for the monologue.
Our producer David, he's MAGA. So if he cuts this bitch up, just know it wasn't me that said it. He AI'd me, or maybe I did say it. We'll see. If it gets real QAnon up in here. So this is the way I see it. Depending on who wins, right? America has had a pretty bad trajectory these past 4 years with Joe Biden. I saw a comment where it was like there was a woman. It was actually under one of these things. She was like, "I don't even like Trump, but I'm gonna vote for Trump because now I can't feed my kids." And these last 4 years have been hell. If Joe Biden wins, and all of our enemies are clicking up too. You see, Putin and Kim Jong Un.
Yep, they got together.
They're clicking up, bro.
Yep.
So it's like they're like, "Yo, we're good." Like they know it's only a matter of time before this shit all goes downhill.
I believe the terminology for their union was them getting together to provide mutual assistance in case of aggression.
Yo, listen, that sounds like me getting security going to the club, or like if my ops are somewhere, I'm just getting mutual assistance in case of aggression. You know,
Right.
if I go to your house, Dave, and I bring security with me, I'm like, yo, I just got my mutual assistance in case of aggression. It seems aggressive, but anyways, our enemies are all clicking up. They're all friends right now. They're all like teamed up. we're no longer like the big dog in the race. Nobody respects Joe Biden as a leader. They're like, all right, this guy, whatever, this guy, right? If he wins again, I think it's just it goes down real quick from here. And then a lot of people struggle. I don't struggle, I'm fine, but a lot of people will struggle. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. A lot of people will struggle. So 10 years from now, we could be middle, like right now we're still technically the top country, we're gonna be in the middle. If Trump wins, I don't think he fixes it, but I think he definitely gets us out of the hole a little bit as an economy, because when I look at like all of this, honestly, it's like a big fucking popularity contest between countries. So leaders of countries, all they're doing is just fucking like bullying each other. But if Trump wins, people actually respect them, and he's like, yo, we're not gonna give you any, we're gonna give you a bunch of tariffs, you're not gonna get any business from the United States. Every single economy in the world relies on the United States import-export, right? So if we're not buying shit from someone, they're kind of fucked, right? They rely on us, right? Specifically China. And then China provides for a lot of other countries. So it's all built on top of us. So they know Donald Trump, he's a businessman, he doesn't fuck around. He'll clear a lot of shit up, because a lot of people be like, this guy's a maniac, he doesn't give a fuck. We better just listen to him. Otherwise, our country goes into
because you have the threat of fear.
And the thing is, America, like Trump with Joe Biden, it's a lot of virtue signaling, right? Like Donald Trump doesn't care. He will use American oil. He will fire up American nuclear. Like he'll do all of like the energy in America. Whereas Joe Biden, he'll like get it from other countries, so he could be like, we're green.
Yeah, like similar to when I guess during during the 2016 Olympics, during the 2016 election, where he was saying America first, America first, America first, where you had, okay, you want to have your clothes manufactured here, everything else just done here. Although it could probably cost a little bit more, you actually end up circulating the money here rather than elsewhere over time. I think for me, in 10 years, because currently we're a nation divided. So I think if it continues to go the way that it's going right now, we're going to be fucked. I think there needs to be something that brings the people together. Unfortunately, conspiracy theorists in my mind thinks there's going to be some sort of tragedy that happens over the course of the next decade that will have to try to galvanize the people to come together. Because too often are we just, we're almost willing to eliminate one of our own because, well, we just don't see eye to eye here.
So too good, and when shit's too good, like, you just beef with, like, so a great example.
Well, yeah, we're privileged to be in, I think we're in the greatest times of the human existence right now. But because we're so comfortable, now it's like you create problems that aren't problems.
So I see this a lot with like affluent families. You see kids beefing with their siblings. It's like, I fucking hate you, bro. Like, they hate their sibling. They don't talk to their sibling at all. Right? I fucking hate you. Like, you know the joke? It's like how white kids, like, when, like, you're grounded, Tyler. He's like, I fucking hate you, Mom. Mm-hmm. Never happened to my family. My mom, if I ever said that, my mom would slap me, but me and my mom are good, you know? So it's like, I feel like when there's a struggle, everyone's closer together.
Right, because you have to lean on each other. You have to depend on each other.
And when things are good, you fucking fight about everything. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what's happened to America. So I think you were right in that sense. If there's a tragedy or something, we're all going to like...
Right, because you need something to bring the people together. Because I think this is the lowest. And I think we talked about this like an episode last year, maybe, where our country's morale is like the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, and U.S. now is 248 years old at this stage, we're at a point now where it's like people aren't proud to be American. Where at least I know I'm free. But you should be in a situation where you feel good about where it is that you had came from. And now you hear more people talk about, oh man, I hate it here and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying, hey, get the fuck out. But there needs to come a point to where you have to rather look at the negative, look at the positives. What are the positives here? Because look at the alternative. If you were growing up in fucking Vietnam, or maybe you're growing up in some the slums of like Belgium or something like that, or maybe you're in Uganda, or you could be somewhere in India. You could have been somewhere in a bunch of different places, and your living experience could be completely different.
And the craziest part, people from those places, they want to come to America.
That's one of the things that I've always found interesting, because I think there was something that was on the news the other day where they were saying like, I think it might have been Biden who was talking about how immigrants make, the United States so much better, where it's almost a double-sided sword in a sense. I've always hated that analogy, but we'll roll with it. Where if these individuals are so great, why couldn't you make your country great? But at the same time, I understand why, you can bring a unique skill set and a drive to want to go and achieve versus somebody who's born here who doesn't have that drive. Because for you have a higher upside for financials and much more of a better living experience than where it was that you were living. So when you come here, you can stimulate the economy and grow and build so much more.
Right.
But at the same time, you were almost unwilling on certain aspects to do it there, so you figured to come here.
It's not possible there. It's not the same
Fair
as
enough,
it is here.
fair enough,
Like
yeah.
the way America's set up, it's set up for people to succeed. I'm like, there's a lot of like, we don't have that much nationalism anymore. People aren't proud to be American.
Yeah.
I think for me, the reason I'm so like fucking polarized, I'm so like gung ho on America, is because literally I was a broke kid. I'm not that fucking smart. I'm not that good looking. I'm not that talented. I just wanted to fucking work and grind, and somehow I became a millionaire.
Because for you, the American dream still exists because for all intents and purposes, you're living it.
Yes.
Myself, I may not have been at the super heights, but I look at the
but
fam.
you've accomplished
so much.
Exactly.
And I probably don't get the opportunity to do this if I'm growing up in Haiti like 100%. My parents did. So I'm incredibly grateful and indebted to the country for that opportunity. And you're somebody who capitalized on that.
So when I see that, I think that's beautiful. I think the fact that people can do that, like kids like me and you, who had immigrant parents, fucking make something of their life on the fucking internet. You make YouTube videos. I make fucking TikTok videos. And we take care of our life. We're going to take care of our future family because of how America's set up. Like, I can't be mad at that. I'm always going to love that. That being said, people that are here that are like, oh, this sucks, because there are flaws in the American system.
Yeah.
But, or people that aren't willing to work for it, I guess. Like, yeah, they're not going to like it. They're not going to enjoy it, which...
You know what's funny about that too? Even with the flaws, because I love to challenge the people who say, man, it sucks here. So where do you want to go? What's the alternative? Where would you go? Because if it's like, oh man, it sucks here, let's go to Canada. Well, then give that a shot.
The craziest part, they're like, well, I want to go. Let's say someone says, I want to go to Sweden. I'm like, yeah, you know what Sweden does? They don't let people in. They don't let immigrants in. So it's like the same way people are like, oh, let immigrants in, like let people in. I'm like, the reason, like, you're like, oh, I don't like it here because people are so mean, but you should let immigrants in. It's like, no, because you try to go to another country, guess what? They don't let immigrants in. They don't. They're not going to give you citizenship. They're not going to let you stay there. Like, that's the craziest thing. So it's almost like they don't like the things they don't like about this. It's like what other countries are doing.
Right.
You can't even go anywhere.
Right.
You can go to fucking, I don't know, you want to go to India, you can go there. I'm sure it's a great country, but I don't know if you're going to have the same opportunities that you have here.
Probably not. And on top of that, there's the culture shock because you're living in a place in America where there's so much freedoms. Granted, there's not a utopia that you may have created in your mind, but at the same vein, that probably doesn't exist anywhere.
Doesn't.
So because you've only lived here and you haven't experienced life there or anywhere else.
It's like the grass is greener always on the other side for everyone.
You believe it's always going to be greener over there, but you've never experienced it.
And I've been everywhere. I can tell you, like, as like my wife, because she's European, she's like, you don't want to like live somewhere else? I'm like, fuck no, I love it here. Yeah. I've been all over the world. I've been to every continent with the exception of the one that's frozen.
Yeah, Antarctica.
Yeah. I'm choosing this one every single time. I'm living in the United States every single time. I've seen how it works. I know how their economies work. I know how their politics work. Keep me here. And I think people that haven't seen outside, they're not like, oh, like this. Well, I know they haven't seen it. So like, well, I know this sucks. It looks good over there. Let me go do it over there. Mm-hmm. But you haven't been there, so how do you know?
Right, and I think it's also the willingness to go and experience those things, because when people travel, I don't think they travel the right way. If you truly want to fully immerse yourself into the different cultures, because let's just say if you were somebody who's like, man, I hate it here, I want to go somewhere else. You have to really experience that country. You can't just, all right, if I'm going to go and experience Greece, let me go to the Mykonos and freaking party on a weekend or something like that. I'm not meeting the right people because it's a melting pot in that location.
'Cause it's
People
all
are coming from
tourists.
London. People are coming over from all the other
I
places.
saw a thing. It was like, imagine going all the way to Europe just to hang out with more Americans.
Exactly.
'Cause
When
they're
I
all-
was in Greece last year, we had a section at this party in Mykonos. The section over from us, there was some very interesting looking individuals. So I'm like, oh, where you guys from? This dude, yeah, I'm from Manhattan. Like, you're New York. So we're doing the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? He's a dude in finance. Hilarious. There was another guy who was, I don't know if he had a trust fund or if he was 6'5" with blue eyes, but he was there. And then there was another guy who was from
This
from
guy is
Rochester.
he's with the culture. Look at that.
He's from
Aura.
yeah,
he's at Trust Fund,
all
6'5",
them.
blue eyes.
I'm trying to keep myself young. I'm
Look at
30
this
now.
guy.
So it's wild to me that you go to all these different places, you run into other Americans who are doing the same thing. If you really want to experience the culture, you got to get away from the tourist locations. You got to go to the back roads. When you go to Jamaica, you go to the Caribbean, don't fucking go to those resorts. You go to where the Mandem is at. You go meet the actual townsfolk and you experience that. That's how you really get the essence of the country. If I'm going to go to Europe, I
go
can't
with
just
the Mandem.
freaking go hang out where everybody is just chilling. Like, come on now, what are we doing?
Isn't that like a UK thing? That's something I hear UK drill rappers say. The
Yeah, they said the
Mandem.
Mandem.
Why,
Yeah.
So why Jamaica? I mean,
I went out to dinner with one of my Jamaican friends a couple of weeks ago. We were making the joke where we kept saying Mandem because
The Mandem.
he finds it funny because at the resorts everybody says Yaman. So
Yaman,
then
yeah.
when they try to switch it up instead of keep saying Yaman, they say the Mandem.
They were laughing so much. I was at a resort in Jamaica, and I was kind of like, oh, bumbleclat. But I didn't know like it means like dumbass, right? It means like something like that. So like I remember I was just in the resort, and every single thing I would like go get food or ask for a drink. I'd be like bumbleclat, and they would just laugh at me. They're like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah. And what's
I
funny
look like
is
an ignorant American.
they can't. But I don't want to say they can't, but I think they're told not to react to certain things.
Yeah.
But then you could see it on their face.
No, they were laughing.
So it's like, yo, just be real with me. Let's take the veal off. Just tell me I'm dumb, and then we could move forward and we good.
It was so funny because like he would call over, like there was one, I was like bumbleclat. He started laughing, but then I came back like 10 minutes later to get another drink. He calls over like a woman. He's like, look, say it again. I'm like, bumbleclat. They start laughing at me, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're
but
like,
listen,
oh, yeah, he's the dumbass.
you guys look like they're entertained. I'm gonna give it to you.
Hey, they probably had great conversations about it every time you done walked away. But yeah, it's one of those things where every time I hear people talk about like the country and everything, I'm like, have you given it enough of a shot and gave it your all to where it's like, okay, you've tried and failed enough to where it's like, hey, you know what? Let me go and try to rebuild elsewhere. And are you willing to go and rebuild elsewhere and go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Because
here's the thing. So recently, just happened. Nvidia just became the biggest company in the world, right? Mm-hmm. That's
just
wild.
past Microsoft,
$1 trillion
and Apple.
company.
Yeah, I think
And it's
Microsoft
because
is 2,
of like
Apple is
all
3.
of the technology that's happening right now. Because Nvidia does the chips.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on that? First of all, because I have a whole like
with them taking over, passing Microsoft. Well,
Yeah.
for one, they're primarily just, is it an all AI company?
Well, no, so they do the chips for processing.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
But in order to have AI, you just need so many fucking you need a ton of processing power to be
Right.
able to do this. So because of that, because everyone needs processing power now,
Mm-hmm.
it's all like through Nvidia who makes all the chips.
Yeah, they've got
You
a
know?
monopoly on it for a certain degree.
And it's crazy because you see like the CEO of Nvidia, he's starting to like kind of come out of his shell because before you didn't really know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know all the other guys, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, fucking
Zuckerberg,
Elon Musk, Zuck, yeah. So this
Bezos.
guy's starting to come out of his shell because he was saying this thing. He was like, he was just talking about working. He was like, my life is I work 12 hours a day, I go to bed, and I work 12 hours a day the next day, and I go to bed, and I work 12 hours a day the next day. And people were like, yeah, Nvidia's gonna win. And there was a video of him like signing some girl's tits, and then
Mm-hmm.
I saw a meme. It was like Nvidia stock went up after this because he signed some girl's tits. So like he's starting to build his like personality a little bit
Right.
on the internet. But that's also very, very political. Also, everything's kind of with business, politics, like all this shit. The dude, I'm assuming, Jensen Huang is his name. Hope I pronounced it right. He's Taiwanese, and Taiwan is where they make a lot of the chips for the processors. So like stuff like that, Nvidia and stuff. They make all of the chips, a majority of the chips in Taiwan, but that's like China's Ukraine. You know, Russia, Ukraine.
Okay,
It's China,
yeah, that's the
Taiwan. So
ops,
China,
right.
like, it's any day China's gonna go and take that bitch over, and America's kind of caught in the middle of that because if they take that over, then the fuck happens to the chips? And in China, there's a chip shortage, so we're kind of beating them on that side because we have all the chips because we
Right.
have an ally, which is Taiwan. So
They're gonna try to strong arm them.
yeah, and then once they get the chips, it's kind of like, yo. But so that's the crazy shit that's happening in politics. I think with Donald Trump, that doesn't happen because he'll just be like, yo, don't fucking do that. He'll set like strong boundaries of like, yo, don't fuck with that because we'll fuck up your entire economy. Don't do that. With Joe Biden, they kind of know like, yo, if we invade, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, I think you need a supreme leader at the top that also has that fear of like, yo, I'm willing to meet you, you know, where you are.
Yeah.
Rather than kind of being more reactionary, you could be much more proactive.
So here's the best example, I guess. If you know you can do something without repercussions, let's say you have two parents. One's like your dad, really strict, you're scared of him. One's your mom, she lets you get away with a lot. You're more likely to be like, oh, let me just go steal a cookie from the kitchen.
Right.
Because mom's not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. But if like dad's in charge and he's watching, if I steal this cookie, he's going to beat my ass. Let me not steal this cookie because I don't want dad to beat my ass.
That's why there needs to be an element of fear and discipline that
so
exists
I think
out there.
Trump will do that better than Biden because Biden are kind of like, should we invade? They're kind of testing it. Bro, in Miami, actually, just recently, there were fucking Russian warships.
Oh, yeah,
Bro.
yeah. I saw something about, you probably could have saw it from here.
Literally, I probably could have looked into the ocean, seen
Yeah,
some
you
Russian
probably
warships.
could have saw it from here. I read an article about that. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
And they're just like, bro, this shit would not fly if somebody was like, nah, get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
But people aren't doing nothing. They're just kind of like, oh, okay, you're doing this. Like, they're being way too lenient, bro. Cuba.
Is it Cuba?
No, but it got close enough to be seen. There was an article about it where you could see the ships from Miami. That's crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck? And it's like, so that's my fear with the country. When we talk about the country, because it's Independence Day, you know why? Like, I want to feel safe. I have a kid. I want to live in a country where I feel safe. And if there's gonna be fucking warships outside of like the coast where I live,
right.
I don't feel very safe there. You know?
There's a sheer irony. I want to say I'm gonna drop a bar. I don't know if it's gonna sound profound, but I'm gonna say it anyway. America is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, but they make it very difficult to be brave because when you are brave, it feels as if you're not free.
Ooh.
So, because think about it.
Run it back. It sounded like a bar. I just didn't get it.
So America is the land. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? But the irony in it is that America has now set up a situation to where if you are brave, you don't feel as if you're free. Because if you think about what was happening during the pandemic with COVID, now news is broken now news is broken that Kansas is suing against Pfizer, right? Because they didn't disclose safety information regarding what side effects and risks taking the vaccine would have had against pregnant women. Now there's a bunch of people who are having strokes, bunch of side effects and everything that's happening. And they looking at it like, hey, listen, we have to do what we have to do. But at the same time, you also have to take into account the mainstream media, the fear mongering that was going on, everything of that nature, to where if you were saying, no, I'm not going to go get the jab, I don't want to do it. Even if it wasn't even, let me not keep saying even, if it was a situation to where you felt as if, you know what, I don't feel comfortable getting this here vaccine, you were shunned. It didn't matter what your explanation was. And on top of that, travel, jobs, you weren't able to maintain certain positions. There were people who were applying for remote positions. If you didn't have the vaccination, you couldn't get in. Businesses were being forced to have to go and test, whether it was the temperature or if you didn't search to make sure somebody had a card, you would almost be in a situation to where now you're not getting any traction. So it was such a disaster for those 2 years, really, because I think 2022 is when it started to kind of get a bit more light and everything. And truly, the people who were brave enough to say, hey, I'm good, I'm not trying to deal with it, you were shunned so much so to where your freedom was questioned. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger was on the news who had said, man, fuck your freedom. You know, and all this other stuff, it's about, getting and keeping everybody safe, only to find out you take the jab, it's supposed to prevent you from getting sick and then prevent others from, you couldn't pass on the sickness if you got sick. And all that was horseshit. So it's in a situation to where now you almost question, what's the intention? Because I've always been a conspiracy theorist. And since I learned about the Tuskegee Airmen experiment back in, I think it was the 40s, 50s, 60s, around that time, and they was willfully giving black men syphilis during the period of time, and then they never apologized about it until 90, 2000, around that time. I think it was Bill Clinton who had to come out to go and apologize. No, it might have been in the 2010s. I forget. But all I know is the moment that I learned about that, I said, oh, well, I can't trust the government enough to actually be in our best, interest.
Bro, did you see that this new bill they just signed where they're drafting?
Yeah, 18 to 26. But that's always been in place to where selective service and everything of that nature. You've always been eligible, but I think now it's
now they automatically
it's automatic.
like enroll you in the draft if you're 18 to 26.
Yeah.
So woo. I'm safe. I'm an old ass man. I can't be doing all that.
Because I think it's something where before it was it's mandatory, but you had to manually do it. So now it's automatic situation. And I'm glad that I'm
Listen,
older.
You are 18. You 26 years old. I apologize. Thank you for protecting the country, America. 4th of July, Independence Day.
Yeah, but it's going to be a bad situation because
I
truly.
saw something that they're sending women to.
Yeah. Women are also going to be.
Hey, yo, equality, baby.
To go to.
Equality, baby.
Yeah. And you know what's going to be very interesting about
that is fucked up.
Because a bunch of people are going to end up having to get jailed because they're not going to be willing to go. Because going back to the earlier conversation regarding country morale and having that nationalism, vast majority of people can be like, why would I fight for the country?
But
I
here's
don't
the
even
thing.
like
I think
it
those people that don't have that nationalism are also the ones that are most scared.
Absolutely.
So, because I think the people that do have the nationalism, they're the ones that are brave.
Right.
The people that don't have this nationalism, they're afraid of everything.
Yep.
They're afraid of life. So they're gonna be the ones that you're gonna go to jail if you don't go. So they're gonna send all the cowards out into the draft.
Yeah.
And shit, boy.
Because shit's gonna hit your fan. Everybody gangster till the gangster pull up at your door. So it's gonna be a situation where you have to legitimately. This generation's going to have to be prepared.
There's Russian warships outside my fucking house. Right? I need you guys to go out there. If you were 21 to 26,
because for all intents and purposes, you're in the prime of physical shape between your late teens to your early to mid 20s. These are supposed to be the most fit individuals prepared to go. And then furthermore, now it actually begs the question, because I don't even know if I researched this in particular, the ranks of the military, police force, everything of that nature, everything had been, lowered for the most part so that the bar to get in wasn't as difficult.
Yeah.
I'm very curious if in the event the draft were to happen, are there going to be people who are not physically fit enough or mentally tough enough to be able to qualify traditionally that still have to go simply because, it's a draft? Because I never knew through history if that was something that had happened, with the world wars. If you're somebody who is just morbidly obese, you're not mentally tough or whatever the case is, but hey, you got drafted. Do you still gotta go? Right. So then now that makes me wonder if
morbidly obese people can't go to the draft?
No, I would assume not. Yeah.
So this is the craziest shit then.
Because we're the most overweight we've ever been.
Wouldn't people just get fat as fuck then?
No, some people can mess around because there'll be so much people who are draft dodging at this point. Because of course, again, it was mandatory for fellas, the males to go and have to go and sign up for selective service. Now that everything's automatic for men and women alike, it's going to be very interesting to see what methods people are going to try to do to dodge said draft. If in the event World War III were to happen, it's going to be an absolute clusterfuck of a situation. Because what happens? Because this is the TikTok, Instagram, social media gamer generation. You think these people who think Call of Duty is real?
You're gonna be on Twitter fucking making jokes about getting
You're
drafted.
gonna be in the midst of fucking war. You're on the plane tweeting stuff out. You Snapchat story. I gotta keep my streak, bro. It's gonna be crazy.
Yo.
There's no way. We are gonna get cooked. If we go to war, we're gonna get cooked.
Yep.
You got Russians who wrestling bears every single morning.
Yep.
The North Koreans, they just worship Kim Jong-un for the most part. But then
some fucking dude with blue hair that works at Starbucks to go fucking defend us.
Fam, it's going to be bad. Making venti lattes in the midst of getting shot.
I'm not going to go there.
It's going to be wild, bro. It's going to be wild. I have no faith that this is going to end up working out. Well, I think in our favor
that's what I said.
long term.
I think that's what's important about having a strong leader. Because if you have a dude that's like willing to just send you over to die because they don't care, it's different. I think someone that cares is going to prevent a war, is going to prevent fuckers from fucking around, and there's peace. You know? So that's kind of why I think it's important to just maintain this shit, to have a strong leader, to have someone that's going to take care of their people. Because fuck, man, that's scary.
It is. It really is, because it's only a matter of time.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Truly, as anybody who's studied history or even experienced it growing up, because we've all been a part of history at different stages in our lives, war is imminent. It's just a part of what happens.
Yeah, it's just and I think America's spoiled because they never experienced it.
Right.
Every single generation, with the exception of ours, has experienced war. America has not experienced the war because we've been so like comfy because we make so much money. We've had a long period of peace. We haven't experienced war, but like our parents, they experienced war. Their parents experienced war. Their parents before that experienced war.
World War I, II, Vietnam.
Every single generation has experienced war except for our generation because of nuclear weapons.
And even on the war on terror, it was a technicality kind of situation too, because it wasn't even right.
But that's like an NBA team versus a high school team.
And since Civil War, there hasn't been a war on American soil, and a piece of me feels like it's only a matter of time before motherfuckers get here, and it would start from the inside. Because if everybody's on some, hey, let all the immigrants in and everything of that nature, you think they couldn't just mess around and set up a coup from the inside?
You're kind of fucked because where you're located on the planet, you're fucked. We got some nationalism here in Florida. We support our police force. Everybody here got straps. We're allowed to carry in Florida now. You could walk down the street with a gun concealed.
Oh yeah, legally. They have. Yeah, it's not open, but it's concealed carry. Yeah.
Texas, Florida have like the highest per capita gun ownership. So it's like, listen, they try to come in here, it's not gonna look good for them.
Like legitimately, it makes me, it's one of those things that I'm not paranoid about it, but I'm mindful of it because the time can come where shit hits the fan, because you want to have deterrence that exists. So you have a contingency plan if shit goes left.
Yeah.
But if you operate in life as if, things will never go left, that's when you get caught off guard.
Yep.
So I've always found that very interesting. Whenever I talk to people, I don't always bring it up, but there'll be points in conversations where, so let's just say if in the event, there was another attack that was on our soil, but this one personally put you in a situation you had to act. What do?
People get complacent, right? Like I was seeing something. It's like, in the 1700s when America was formed, they said, like, fuck this Boston Tea Party and left to America.
Yeah, the 2% tax.
Because they were getting a 2% tax.
Yeah.
Now there's like a 30% tax and people don't care. Like, it's gotten so fucking bad that people forget everything the entire country was built on. So I think that's what happens over time. People have it so good, they don't realize how good they have it, and then they get complacent.
Right. And it's one of those things where I'm very curious when the internal revolution will mess around and happen, because it feels as if it's been brewing for some time. You have a lot of different subgroups that are getting more and more vocal.
I think it's a weird one because it's like a culture war now. So people are now fighting on the internet. They're like galvanizing people on the internet now. It's no longer like a hey, let's fight people. It's like, okay, let me try and convert as many people as possible into my belief system.
Yeah.
That's why you have influencers on both sides. You have like these right-wing fucking influencers, and then you have these left-wing influencers. Have you seen the Boys? You watch The Boys, the show?
No, I don't watch The Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So great show. It's on Amazon Prime, but it's kind of like it's like social commentary, but involving superheroes.
Okay.
But it's the same thing. They're like galvanizing them. So it's like you have people that on the like far right, far left. It's like a representation of America right now and all the weird shit going on. But yeah, bro, weird times we live in.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. And I've always said time and time again, I think the easiest way to truly appreciate where you live, travel elsewhere and see how they live.
I'm curious.
In contrast to how you do.
Because, again, we're filming this before 4th of July, but I'm curious on 4th of July what people are going to be saying. If people are going to be like, yo, I'm proud to be American. This is great. America Day. Or if people are going to be like, I hate this country. Blah, blah, blah on the internet. I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people where, because if I were to look from within the black community, I know at Juneteenth, there's a lot of people who are very loud and proud about that, which fair enough. I completely understand if you're Black American and you have roots that was set in this country, then by all means, you should be proud about what, you know, your ancestors were able to accomplish. However, if you were to say somebody, man, fuck America, all this other stuff, you in this stage, in this current generation, has had the opportunity to dip and go elsewhere and set your roots somewhere else. Now, if you grew up in poverty, whatever the case is, the fact that you're cognizant of that and you're aware of that, you can no longer use that as an excuse because you know what's going on. Like somebody who's been in poverty for so long and doesn't recognize you're poor, like so many people have had stories like that. Because if you've gone your whole life without, you don't know what it's like to have. So you just assume this is the norm. But if you're now aware, oh no, I went without, and now you have the capabilities to go and change that, well, go elsewhere and then give that a shot. But overall, I think there will be a percentage of people who are incredibly proud to be an American. There'll be a lot of people who come out on socials like, man, fuck the country, fuck all this other stuff. But then still, here you are here doing nothing to change the fact. Because if you want policy to fit your needs and everything of that nature, cool. But then what? Because at the end of the day, if everything were to go your way, the country's great for you. So fuck everybody else.
Listen.
So it's pick your poison.
Independence Day to all of my Americans watching this. Listen, all I gotta say is the change starts within. You like that political fucking little thing?
Change starts within.
The change starts within. You know why they do this? I was reading a body language book. Super side note. If you point, it's too aggressive.
Yes.
So instead they dull it and they say the change starts within because you're not pointing at someone. But it's still a powerful gesture. The change starts within. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. And from all of us here at the Assiduous Podcast, this has been another episode with your host, Rene Lacard, a serial entrepreneur, Filipino Prince Tycoon. And your co-host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the chiseled Adonis. And this is...
We are
Assiduous. Bro, point correctly. Assiduous.
Oh, I pointed at you.
Yeah, assiduous.
Now I feel Italian.
Assiduous. I know. They do this thing.
No, yeah, they do that.
Assiduous.
Pineapples don't go on pizza.